Hello, everybody. It's Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. I got to put my headphones on here. It is a little after 4 o'clock. The Canna-Talk ND with Wilson is on KRFF 95.9 LPFM, Moorhead, Fargo. 701-478-4955 is the number to call. And we're going to jump into some quick music here, and then we'll see you on the other side. We're going to be discussing CBD in your animals. If you'd like to call in and you have like a question you'd like to talk about your animal, it's currently on CBD and the benefits of that, you could call in at 4:20 showtime. We have a couple animal/guests calling in, so we're going to talk to them about CBD, and that should be interesting. And again, that's at 4:20. Canna-Talk ND with Wilson on KRFF 95.9 LPFM. Here is Teneriwen. It's a Sahara Desert blues music. They got a hold of a Stratocaster on a military base, and well, you be the judge. And that was Claire Akel by Teneriwen, Saharan Desert Blues Dudes. And this is Canna-Talk ND with Wilson Hour. We discuss the legal and health benefits around cannabis, the legal arena and the medical arena, and then wherever appropriate in states that are legal is what we discuss on this show. And again, at 4:20, we're going to talk about CBD and pets, and we're going to have a couple of people call in that knows a couple things, so we're going to ask some questions. And if you'd like to call in, you can, 701-478-4959 at anytime after 4:20 to 4:20, and we'll take your calls. Again, the petition circulating North Dakota ND for Freedom of Cannabis Act is currently out there. You can sign it. Lisa's going to tell you here in a minute where you can go. And again, it's a constitutional measure. It will help everybody in the state of North Dakota. 21 plus to possess up to 12 plants you can grow. So there is a home grow in this measure. And licensed businesses only, and then private consumption as well. Can you tell us where they can sign, Lisa?
Yes. In Fargo, you can sign ND for Freedom of Cannabis Act at Tochi Products, Addictions, Smokey's House of Pipes, Mellow Mood, 46 and 2 Tattoo, and Orange Records.
And we have a meeting directly after this at Tochi Products from 5 to 6:30. And we'll have packets if you'd like to go and get signatures with your homies. We'll have packets you can take with you. That's until 6:30. And then we're just going to keep it going. The train pulls into the aquarium tonight. That's a KRFF Fargo show. Local band Showers. The electric blankets disappear forever. Half empty. That's tonight at 8 p.m. $5 cover. Lisa's going to be there with a petition and a heavy hand. Nobody getting in for free tonight, folks. That's the word on the streets. And there'll be merch you can buy for Radio Free Fargo. Support your local radio station. They were cool enough to let me get on here and talk about something that might seemingly be controversial in other places. So I give them a big shout out, and you should as well, by supporting their stuff. Again, ND for Freedom of Cannabis Act is the petition being circulated. We're also streaming live as of right now, so you can go to KRFF, 95.9 Radio Free. Okay, I'm going to start over. RadioFreeFargo.org is where it's going to stream initially, and then it'll be jump share streamed to ND for Freedom of Cannabis Act on Facebook, which is also a good Facebook page you should join. And Canna-Talk ND on YouTube. We need subscribers. We need people to get on there and start clicking the button or whatever, hit the notification thing, and let's get it shared out. And if we get 1,000, we're like at 260 some. If we get 1,000, it takes us to the next level, and we can just, reduce stigma, get out there, do what we do.
Absolutely. I finally got us streaming to our ND for Freedom of Cannabis Act Facebook page, so pardon me for that, but it's now on there. So hey, everybody.
I'm waving at you, you're waving at me, and we'll kind of, over time, maybe we'll get it to, we'll get to working on it, and it'll be kind of a neat package. I kind of like it. I don't know if I love it right yet, but I think once we figure it out, it's going to be interesting, and it's, anytime you can get information to the people, I say is a good thing. And it's like 11 after. So we're going to play a couple tunes here. And then on the other side, well, let me see here. I'm trying to do math in my head. Michigan. It's funny. I was going to mention this. This week, like millions of dollars.
I saw that.
I don't want to lie, so I'm going to say no more than 2.8, but I think it was like 1.4.
Yep, I think it was around that, 1.6 maybe.
To me,
that's what I remember, but that's incredible.
Yeah, because it's undeniable. Because what I like about it is it's visible, right? You can't hide from it. A drug dealer's in the alley. He ain't going to tell you how much he sold, unless it benefits him, But in this case, we get to see it, immediately.
Yep, direct evidence that the people wanted it, and that's that.
Right.
They should have a right to it.
Absolutely. And again, I don't think it's like those one-time shots either, right? Where it was just that was cool to get in line and do it.
Right.
I mean, I think it'll level off, and it's just going to it's just, like I said, the proof is in the pudding. And when you start talking millions, sadly, that's what gets a lot of people moving,
True.
And so I think this constitutional measure is a people's measure. It's done with it's considering everybody, and I think we should get behind it because, again, if we let the man get a hold of stuff, and they do, and they will.
Yes.
Maybe the little guy again in Dickinson, nobody care about you. So we don't want that to be the case because we're all humans, we're all equal, and we should all have the same benefits that everybody gets.
Yep, we want everybody in North Dakota to have access to cannabis, not only the bigger cities like Fargo.
That's right. So let's all do our parts. Let's get the thing signed. Let's talk. Let's just, like I said, when you decrease stigma and it's an easier conversation to have, it just flows. And again, if anybody can benefit from it, then everybody should know about it. And that's what we're trying to do, and you can help us do that too. And we're going to get into some songs here, and then directly after, it'll be 4:20, we're going to have somebody call in that knows about CBD and animals. And again, if you want to call in, 701-478-4959, you can ask your question, or if you have a comment about how, Petey the cat just didn't move around very well, and all of a sudden he's looking at you in the bathroom, and he ain't got up in 6 years. Go ahead and call, because that'd be interesting to hear. And so here we go. We got Croon Ben doing Feel Good, and we'll see you on the other side. All right, that was Feel Good featuring Croon Ben, Marabou State. A little groove for you. This hour of music on KRFF 95.9 LPFM is being underwritten by DTFM Vinyl Distro. DTFM Vinyl Distro is hardcore vinyl and merch for the diehard fan. You can visit their website and shop online at www.dtfmvinyldistro.com for records, merch, upcoming events, and store hours, or visit them at 4130 3rd Avenue North in Fargo, across from 7th Avenue Salvage. That's DTFM Vinyl Distro. All they want is vinyl and blood. And here's a little Christmas music for everybody. Christmas time is here, folks. Croon Ben, and you know what it is? It's showtime, so I don't want to wait, and neither should you. Let's do it. Well, we're a little behind, folks, so I'm going to make up some time by just doing that. Lisa's here. We've got our caller, and so we're going to go ahead and get that started right now. Ashley, can you hear me? Hello, Ashley. Okay, let's do it again. Ashley, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hey, how are you doing? I got Lisa here. You know her.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
So, the store you work at, I'm not so sure I can say where, so we'll just say you work at a place that dispenses CBD and CBD products. And there's somebody who works there that has an animal that's currently on it. And do you have a lot of, people coming in that come back? Kind of work me through that. Like what are people into?
I do have a lot of people that come in for CBD treats for their pets. A lot of people like the peanut butter stuff I have because it comes in different milligrams and stuff. But I also have regular, kind of just normal dog treats, but it has CBD in it.
Okay, so have you noticed that when you like if you try to give an animal regular medicine, right? Because I got to imagine it's icky, like we have, like cough medicine, whatever. So,
Yeah.
and I know like parents will call them of animals, especially the ones they really love that are stubborn and they got to take, say, antibiotics, for example. They got to like hide it in hot dogs. I mean, they almost got to trick their dog and their dog. And they use dogs to find people trapped in places, So you're not going to really fool them when it comes to smell. So I'm kind of curious if you've seen the dogs kind of dig the taste. Like, is it easier to get them to take this or not?
Yes, and the dog that I have, she loves those treats way better. It's way easier than giving her anti-anxiety meds because, you have to hide that in a pill pocket or whatever, and she still probably won't even eat the pill. So, CBD treats are definitely better in that way because it's all just it's all infused in the treat.
So we're talking like anxiety kind of things too, right? Like if they were taking them to the vet or like things that just get them kind of, I don't know, say relatives or whatever. Like before, like say if you hadn't put them on, let's say you never knew what CBD was and you've seen these kind of behaviors. It's like when they're running around and like uncontrolled, like it's like when toilet paper gets tore up when you leave, is that kind of the things you see reduced with CBD?
Absolutely. It does reduce anxiety and it even helps dogs sleep a little better too. Usually depending on the dog, they'll take more naps or they'll just be less erratic and crazy all the time. So
yeah, see, that's neat. And so, like we were talking on the phone, like I don't think veterinarians, they can't prescribe it, but you can mention it to them and then they can tell you what you think. So I feel like it's almost like humans and dogs are kind of in the same race for legalization, because it seems like the same trouble I go through. Like if I go to a doctor, try to get Sanford to give me something I know that I want, I got to go through all this hassle, but I can use my words, but an animal, they can't really say anything. It's kind of up to you. And we're finding, just that animals have similar needs, I guess. And I think that we removed like cannabis and hemp in our agriculture, our livestock stopped eating it, stopped being in our foods. We start seeing kind of these things that are remedied by essentially putting back in our bodies what should have been in our bodies in the first place, I feel.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that.
Well, good. So we're on the same page here. So separation anxiety, what else is good? Like, what else would you think a person could consider taking CBD for a particular thing with their animal?
Joint pain and stuff like that. A lot of older dogs kind of have, they get old and so their joints hurt, kind of like people. So CBD treats really help with that also. Some dogs, I guess, are scared of fireworks and thunderstorms and that kind of stuff. So it also helps, help them calm down during those otherwise very anxious times for them.
Ooh, I'm sure a lot of people would want to try that.
Well, man, it's crazy fireworks. I mean, especially big
some
dogs.
People's dogs just get so freaked out.
Like neighborhood killers, they're drooling hate,
Yeah.
I mean, every postman in the block is afraid to go down there. And then as soon as fireworks go on, they turn into a 3-year-old girl.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me, but yeah, so
my aunt actually gives her dog CBD treats when they go to parades and stuff because she's very, very afraid of loud noises and sirens and stuff. And then she doesn't freak out during the parade. So
that's crazy because it's so cause and effect. Because I remember I was in a dispensary and it was a few years ago, and I was just so excited to be in a dispensary, but I couldn't help notice that there was a section for animals. And yes, folks, I wasn't in there for animals, I was in for myself. But I thought, hey, while I'm in for myself, I'll ask this lady, this bud tender, about her section. And she told me she lives in a 2-story apartment and her dog stopped walking up those second flights of stairs to join her in bed, and it was kind of sad because do you move out, like do you pick it up? Like there's just like this autonomy and everything around it. And she started giving this dog gummies, and the dog starts going up the steps to the bed. So to me, like a dog doesn't know ulterior motives. He doesn't know the politics around anything. All he knows is that he used to go up there to sleep, but his back legs gave him pain. He chose not to. He takes something, now he jumps up the steps. To me, it's obvious, like it's a case in point, so.
Absolutely.
So let's see what else. We got the taste, They like it. That's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So vets, I don't know. So how do you think people are hearing about it? Just like internet? Because it seems like CBD and pets, like my brother, shout out to my brother in Illinois, he's got a dog that has separation anxiety, and they've got him on CBD. But I know like a veterinarian didn't suggest it. I'd like to think because he's in my family, he just thought, well, hey, my brother's been yammering about it. Maybe I'll give it a shot. But that's
Sure.
just me. Yeah, that's just me, my self-absorbed thoughts. But so basically it's just been word of mouth, right?
I think, yeah, at this point, it is kind of a lot of word of mouth. And it's a lot of, people telling each other, hey, I tried this with my dog and it really works. So,
Yeah, because I think we start looking at the same thing pharmaceutically, right? Like, because the veterinarian will prescribe pharmaceuticals for all those things. I mean, I don't know, but I feel like they could get Prozac in a dog. I don't know if they prescribe it, but I feel like there's similar stuff. And then you, the pet owner, you feel the same way you do about your own body. Like, you want to put something natural in. You don't want to, put some weird pills that have other side effects. You don't know what all. So I feel like that's the same thing with animals. That's happening, and so, but I feel like a veterinarian would be more, I don't know if I want to say more humane, but cooler than a regular doctor when it came to, saying, hey, it's okay. Because I'm not so sure doctors of humans are pushing it. They're not suggesting it at all. But I feel like veterinarians and animal lovers are just, I don't know, just nicer people, I feel, when it comes down to it. So I'd be interested to see where things head with CBD and animals.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from a vet in Fargo that actually recommends it. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. So if there's a vet out there, 701-478-4959, you got 1 minute to call in. It's too late. Just kidding. But yeah, that is interesting to me, the CBD. And then there's still this weird legality. I think it's still on Schedule 1 somewhere. There's this weird stuff. Because CBD is still a stinking felony in South Dakota, And so South Dakota.
Silly.
Well, it really is, because I feel like now in my head, I just thought of this. If you got pulled over with your dog on your way to see your aunt somewhere in Louisiana and you had CBD for your pet, you would go to jail.
Oh my gosh.
For your animal, because he can't go to jail. And then where will he go? He'll go to jail too.
They can't charge the dog with ingesting a toxic substance.
Well, I don't know. They'd have to go to the pound. You'd have to call somebody, come and get your dog and you in your car in South Dakota. Just a tip, folks. South Dakota is bad. So, not real bad. I take that back. It's just a radio show. I don't hold it against me. Okay, anyway, so CBD and pets. So now, has there anybody been in there now besides dogs? Does it help all animals? Have you seen anybody in there? Okay, tell me.
I have cat treats, too. So people do use the CBD stuff for their cats also.
Wow, that's interesting, because cats have catnip, right? They go crazy for that.
Oh, they love it.
It's nuts, right? It's almost intoxicating for a cat, right?
Yep.
So, and cats are kind of, I don't want to say mean, but they're particular and everything. So I wonder, it's just weird I'm thinking this, but does it make them a nicer cat, you think? Are they more social?
Yeah, and depending on the cat. I mean, obviously it's more dogs than it is cats, because I feel in general dogs have more of that separation anxiety and different stuff like that. But yeah, it is the same effects for cats, just like it is for dogs too.
Well, cool. Because, like I said, I got a buddy in Wisconsin. I think he's going to call me sooner, or call me here. But even if he don't, I'll just kind of give you kind of a abbreviated thing since I got you on the phone. But he's got I don't know how old it is, but it's a beautiful macaw, like a parrot, right? And he's getting older, and it's an awesome bird. It talks, whatever. And I've known him several years. When I used to go to Wisconsin, I'd see this bird, and whenever I'd play music, it was almost like a bird would have the beat. His head would pop. It's so interesting to me. It was almost like a metronome, birds. They get into this groove, and it's almost repetitive. But apparently, the older it got, his feet started to hurt him. He had pain in his feet, and they could tell because he was just favoring them. And when they call in, I'd like to know where they decided. But they put him on CBD, and Ozzy is his name, is a much happier bird.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
and I feel like it could be for any animal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's something that somehow it's like everybody seems to have a deficiency or something when it comes to whatever this is, and if cannabis is a homeostasis kind of driven balance where everybody feels it just like animals, and you've taken it out of our diet and our world, I don't know. I mean, if you put it back in, what happens? I mean, I feel like you don't have problems. You're not talking about the problem. You're not going to say my dog gets freaked out with fireworks because there's cannabis in his food. Like it's naturally in stuff. Like grains and everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, Ashley, thanks for calling. Is there anything else you would like to talk about or that people should know?
I think we covered just about everything.
Well, that's beautiful, Ashley. Thanks for calling, and we'll see you around.
Me.
Yep, see you later.
Thanks, Ashley.
Well, that was interesting. So, I don't know. I'm going to play music here a bit, and then if he calls in, I'll just patch him through, and then otherwise we'll see you in a few minutes, maybe with another guest. Oh, this song's for my kid. Keep teaching people. All right, and we're back, and we've got my buddy from Wisconsin on here. Skyler, can you hear me?
I can. How are you, brother?
That's beautiful, man. And I was telling Lisa, who's next to me here, also that you are kind of a dog man. You adopt the big dogs, and I know you had a littler dog get into some, I don't know, and to go to all the money I know that took to get that dog right. I know you're into animals, and I know that you know what you're talking about when we start talking about CBD. But
he's a lucky dog.
Oh man, because I remember seeing yeah, you're right. Yeah, that'd be a whole nother topic in itself. So anyway, Ozzy, like I was telling people earlier, I remember we was playing Jesse's Girl when I was at your place, and the bird was sitting up on the cage, and it's almost like birds have like this impeccable rhythm, and they get to rocking, and they got that head thing. It's just crazy how, I don't know, like he's so intelligent, it just blows my mind, and we've had him such a long time.
He constantly surprises me.
That's crazy. So can he say Wilson yet? That's what I want to know.
Well, we're working on that. We are.
All right, sounds good. So tell me, here's what I'm curious about. So
Sure.
Was the bird, had you been giving him something because he started getting pain in his feet, sensitive to his feet? So did you try something before CBD? Like, did the vet say, why don't you try these drops or whatever first? Or did you go right? Okay, so tell me about that.
Well, just a little, and I'll be brief, a little brief history on Ozzy. Ozzy is a Harlequin macaw, and for your listeners that don't know, that's a very large parrot. And he's about 28 years old. We've had him about 25 years.
Whoa.
Probably about 5 or 6 years ago, Ozzy was diagnosed with degenerative bone disease in his feet. He has severe arthritis. And at that time, our veterinarian had put him on a pain drug. It's a pharmaceutical. I hate pharmaceuticals. I'm against them.
Preach.
I'm a natural guy. I'd much rather have him on something more natural.
Absolutely.
So he was on this pharmaceutical for a few years, and it just, he kind of stopped talking. He's a great talker, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of stopped talking. He just wasn't his happy self. And about 2 years ago, I started using CBDs for some growing pains and stuff, aches and pains.
It's good stuff, man. I like it too.
Oh, yeah. And of course, I'm incredibly happy with what I'm doing. And, so I had this conversation with my veterinarian, who I am a close friend with, by the way. And I did hear you mention before that, veterinarians won't prescribe CBDs. But I got to tell you, mine is very open-minded. And although she didn't, and she won't prescribe it, she wasn't against the idea. So we thought, what the heck? Let's give it a try. And, Ozzy's been on a full spectrum. It's a hemp-based. Unfortunately, as you know, Wisconsin's, we're not legal yet.
Absolutely.
But he's been on that for about 2 years now. And I got to tell you, Wilson, he's talking. He talks his head off. He's actually looking at us right now. He knows what we're talking about.
That's crazy. I can almost feel like that eye, like just moving as it looks at me. But yeah, see, that's awesome. So you could tell, like, there was an obvious, when you did this, nothing much, then you do this, and you get, I don't know, you get your bird back,
Yeah,
and to me, that's...
I think with the pharmaceutical, I just think it may have helped his pain, but he just wasn't himself. Not at all. And now he's walking better. He's much happier with the CBD. It's incredible.
Well, that's what I'm finding. I'm finding like meds, like prescribed meds, they mask things, and cannabis just allows you to live your life like you used to. You know what I mean? And we'll see that, especially with older people. Like we know this cool-ass lady, 80 years old. She was like one of the first, 100 prescribed a medical license. She went off all the crazy pain meds, and she gets dressed up every day in a different outfit and comes to the mall and lives her life. And she would have never have done that on particular meds that basically took away her pain. She could have left. She didn't feel the pain. How come she didn't go to the mall? How come she didn't change into new clothes? Until she started taking a THC diet for her meds, all of a sudden she's out talking to us. Which I'm not going to lie, she probably could have had a better conversation talking to somebody else. But the fact remains is that she was out in the community with a debilitating disease that if she kept taking the drugs that was prescribed, she would have never got out of the house.
Yeah, and I totally am on board with that program, and I don't mind saying I've got a little THC diet myself.
Amen, brother.
My aches and pains are just incredible. I recently had back surgery about 2 months ago, and I didn't touch one bit of the pain relief that was prescribed to me. The CBD really helps, and it's just amazing. And I'm totally on board.
Well, yeah, and I want to mention something here quick, and then I'll let you go. But I am going into Texas/Mexico here January 7th to get my teeth work done. And as you know, I kind of had some problems with that. And I'm telling you, when it comes to inflammation, I mean, because I could keep them as clean as possible, but there's still going to be like a high bacteria thing. So my body's immunity was always fighting that, until I remove them to say, and you know that as well as I do. So I started taking CBD and just kind of like an edible type medicine. And man, oh man, I mean, it's reduced. I mean, well, I just don't have red gums, but I should, because the condition is kind of perfect.
What a difference. Am I right?
Absolutely.
What a difference. And you know what? And I'll confide with you. I know we're on a time crunch here, and I'll confide just briefly with you. I had a bunch of dental work done as well. I had a bunch of implants. I had 13 teeth removed at one time.
Ooh.
And it was CBD that got me through it. I'll tell you right now. And it's just amazing. I'm a total believer.
Yeah, no, and like I said, when I get ready here, I'm packing it with me. As soon as I get off the plane, Hablo SCBD is what's
right on, brother.
But man, dude, we're gonna have to catch up here one of these times, and I'm glad you called and tell Ozzy
absolutely.
To take care of himself. And hey, one step at a time, right? We'll make the place a better place.
You got it. I agree, and I support your cause all the way, and I wish you guys all the best. And one last thing before we go, give a shout out to the kid for me, will you? I miss her. Tell her hi for me.
Well, you know what? She's going to listen to this later in the day after she's done all the teaching she can do. Here in South Dakota needs help if you've been paying attention. And
sure.
Anyway, she'll hear it now. So, but I'll tell her again. And listen, man, we'll see you around.
All right, brother. Be safe.
Yeah, bye buddy. All right. Well, that was really interesting, wasn't it?
Very.
Okay,
Yes.
So this hour of programming on KRFF 95.9 LPFM is being underwritten by Wild Terra. Wild Terra serves up locally made, regional, and international dry and experimental ciders, along with a full food menu made from locally grown ingredients with vegan and gluten-free options. Located on the corner of NP and University, Wild Terra can also be found on Facebook and wildterra.com for menu updates, Sunday brunch and happy hour times, and specials. ND for Freedom of Cannabis Act is the petition currently being circulated. Lisa will go ahead and tell you where you can get that signed. And, we're...
Yes, and we'll be at Tochi Products directly after this.
That's right, 5 to 6:30. And then an hour or so after that, at 8 o'clock, at Aquarium, downtown Fargo, KRFF, is doing a show, local indie rock, Showers, the Electric Blankets Disappear Forever, half empty, starting at 8 o'clock, $5 get you in. And let's see, is there anything else?
Well, you can sign ND for Freedom of Cannabis Act in Fargo at Tochi Products, Addictions, Smokey's House of Pipes, Mellow Mood, 46 and 2 Tattoo, and Orange Records.
Fantastic. And that's ND for Freedom of Cannabis Act is the streaming service that we're using now. So, if you're on it, You just seen me do that. And again, we're going to be over at Tochi. If you want to come get something to eat, buy me a cracker. Just kidding. And we got the meeting going on. We'll talk about how we can get cannabis legal in the beautiful state of North Dakota. It's Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. She's Lisa. And I think this is our show. It was a pretty good show, wasn't it?
It was awesome. Very informative.
It's kind of hard. Like, sometimes I don't even know how something's going to play out, really.
You never know.
And here we are. Like, it's not like fear, but I always have kind of this, I don't know, like game day kind of jitters.
Yeah.
Because I really can't see the end, but it's 4:50, and that's pretty close to the end. So we're going to play a couple tunes out, and again, we'll be over Tochi 5 to 6:30, and we'll be downtown after 8 o'clock at the aquarium. And our social media, ND Cannabis Caucus Fargo chapter on Facebook. There's a group and a page. ND for Freedom of Cannabis Act on Facebook. ndforfreedom.org. Am I missing anything?
ND Cannabis Caucus Fargo. If you want to get involved in volunteering, just go there.
That's right. And then petitions. Again, if you want to get a packet, come to where we're at, and we'll get you set up with that. I believe there's a printing PDF thing on ND for Freedom of Cannabis Act that you can download that. So let's try to get this, it's going to take a village, as they say. And I'm not even lying. It's going to take all of us to get this done. And so if you thought to yourself, well, maybe I haven't been putting that much effort in lately, I'm talking to you.
We need you all.
We sure do.
Let's get cannabis rights on the ballot in North Dakota.
That's right. And anyway, I'm going to play a little more croon bin to wrap up the hour. And this hour programming is KRFF 95.9 LPFM, Moorhead, Fargo. 701-478-4959. RadioFreeFargo.org is the streaming service, and then it's the shows are archived so you can listen to them later. Canna-Talk ND on YouTube. We'll also have the audio part of this, and the whole bird conversation was a pretty good conversation, so you may want to check that out. I might even listen to it again because I think he hit me with a lot of information.
We must post a pic of the bird also on our Facebook page, so look for that.
Well, man, 28 years old. I don't know.